this is Greg Hoyt from The Breakdown. If you're new here and checking out the channel on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, feel free to follow me on Twitter at GregHoytLET. Anyway, let's get on to the video.
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing all right, man. How are you?
Let me be the last to tell you Happy New Year, my brother.
Oh man. Like I was really really freaked out at the onset when I turned on my webcam at the onset. Like it made me look like I had like the worst form of rosacea. Now I know you as a black man, you probably don't know what that is. Oh. But it's something, those of us from like the Caucasian descent, we have to worry about.
Yes.
If we have like maybe too much whiskey, or if what's another instance where like folks like overblush if we get a compliment from a woman, or if they imply that our endowment is not where it should be. I'm not gonna say I've ever had that brought to my attention.
I knew you were gonna start. I knew we were gonna go off the rails at some point because that's just my memory from Phoenix. I didn't know it was gonna be in this first 60 seconds.
Well, I mean that's how I roll.
That's Greg being Greg.
Yeah. I don't know if like my camera is fucking like lopsided, or like if I'm like on the wrong
Well, you look fine here.
Oh yeah, no, like well, I can't help it. Like okay. I don't know if I've got like goofy vision, but like I can see my action figures in the background, and I'm like on that side, it's a little bit higher. So like I don't know if I'm on a weird curvature of the earth.
Yes, yes. Now that is a serious collection. What is going on back there, bro?
Yeah, no, I've been collecting action figures for like ever since I was a kid, and so
obviously,
yeah. So like I've got stuff from like the 1984 Secret Wars toys. I've got He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Ninja Turtles, Marvel stuff. I've got I think it's about like 2,500, 3,000 toys collectively throughout my house. So
yeah, you brought up two that now see what we had. My brother Reese is 2 years younger, right? But so we're just 4 days shy of being exactly 2 years apart. We could not collect the same action figures. That was a rule. So He-Man was one of his, and Ninja Turtles was one of his also. I don't know if you remember a cartoon. It was only out for maybe 3 years called Cops.
Yes, yeah, I remember those
fighting crime in the future. See, that was mine. I had this started. Yeah, this appreciation for law enforcement started very early. Yeah, so he could never buy any of those, or those couldn't be given as a gift. He had G.I. Joe, so I couldn't do that. So we were very territorial even then.
Well, yeah. I remember like the period when the Cops figures were out. There were a few other lines out at the time, or around that time. I remember like Barnyard Commandos was around that time.
You remember Mask?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Transport, yeah, Boulder Hill, yeah. So I had that.
Yeah, and what was it? There was also the Toxic Avenger and the Toxic.
Yes, he had Toxic Avengers. He had like 3 of those. Yeah, yeah. I didn't. Yeah, he had those. He had Ghostbusters. He had those. Yeah, I did a few of the Star Wars, the Jedi, but I didn't really see. We never saw the movies. I didn't understand it as much. We were just into wanting to play with the toys.
Yeah, no, I still have some of the I still have some of the real Ghostbusters. Like that was the cartoon that it was called The Real Ghostbusters.
Exactly. Now, most people don't know what you're talking. I know exactly what you're talking about. Correct.
Yeah. And the reason why, actually, the funny thing is because you're probably old enough to remember back, I think it was the late 70s, early 80s, there was like a detective kind of TV show called The Ghostbusters before the movies came.
Correct.
And so when the cartoon came out, while they were able to use Ghostbusters for the movies, they didn't secure the licensing to do it for the cartoon, so they had to call it the real Ghostbusters. I have some of the toys from that as well. I've got like Slimer, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yes.
And, there was like this one toilet action figure that I have where it's got like eyeballs and a tongue that pops out of the toilet.
That's somewhat. Wait, no, that's not. He had Tombstone Packer or Tombstone Tackle, like the football ghost, but that flips open and it was a mouth or something. Reese was into weird stuff like that, like Skeletor. He had like 5 different Skeletors from He-Man. Yeah, so he was. Yeah, that was more. I wanted the law enforcement ones, but like I had Brave Star. He was.
Well, yeah, well, like there were all sorts of Skeletors. Like you had to get the regular Skeletor. Then you had to get the Skeletor with the staff. Then you had to get the one with the claws. Then you had to get the battle armor one where if you tapped his chest, it would look like
he had that. Yes. Yes, he had that. I had 18, B.A. Baracus. I had all, I went that. And then when we went into wrestling, we went through that phase where you're into wrestling. He got all the WWF. You could kill somebody with those, Greg. Those rubber. Remember those from the 80s? Like, I was allowed to get one. I got Superfly Jimmy Snuka, but he had Hulk Hogan and Big John Studd and Andre the Giant. So I had to switch and go to NWA and AWA. Those wrestling action figures. Yeah. But could crush mine. Like, you could break those WWF ones, bro. The paint will wear off of them, but you could club someone. We had Junkyard Dog. Yeah, you club someone to death with that. Right?
Well, you remember the old Transformers, and I remember I can't remember exactly when they stopped making them actually metal, but like I remember having the old Optimus Prime, and that thing was like metal. And
exactly, that's a flying projectile, bro.
you throw somebody like what's so funny, like when I was a kid. And this is like going back to when I was like growing up over in Italy when my father was in the military. We liked April Fool's Day. We liked practical jokes. Like I have 3 siblings. They were all older. And like the old trope of like a bucket of water over the doorway.
The door.
Yeah, like we wanted to do that when we were kids. But, I knew and my siblings knew that my dad would shit a brick if we dumped a bucket of water on the carpet or something like that. So we would fill it up with like matchbox cars.
Oh! Yeah, that mini. I don't know how high it was above his head. Because I'm 6'3", so usually I go through a threshold. It's not a big difference, a much gap. But yeah, you get a foot of match. Those are the metal ones, right? Not the new plastic ones.
Yeah, the metal ones. Well, we wouldn't dare do it to my father, but we would do it to each other.
Gotcha.
And like, sometimes it would work correctly where the matchbox cars would spill out. And even when they would spill out, they would crack each other, crack folks in the face and hurt like hell.
Exactly.
But there was one time, and I think it happened to my oldest brother. He's about 10 years older than I am. And instead of like the bucket tipping over and dropping a bunch of cars on him, the bucket just dropped, and I think it probably had like 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds of and it just fell on his head.
Yeah. What was go back to the Transformers, because I got a story for you on that one, Greg. Not Optimus. What was the leader of the Decepticons?
What was it? Megatron, I believe.
Megatron shattered the glass in the back door. When we get into the story of growing up, this was not, this was not a nice place to live. And the last thing you want to do is break something. But like you were saying, kids get to playing, and I don't know if this generation can like appreciate it. Like we played, like they're bullying each other on a device. Like I'm like, like you said, with match cars getting dropped. So I'm beating him up, and I get up and run, and he gets Megatron and he throws it across the kitchen. And I was already out of the back door, and I closed the door, and then and that was one thing, Greg, that we couldn't fix before your parents got home. Like we had put a painting back together with bubble gum, Like they never noticed that until we got ready to move. This one was like, okay, someone's dead tonight because there's no way we can.
That's the thing. Like kids today, they don't know the feeling of the looming danger of I might not survive.
Yes,
when
with
mom
your
and dad
home.
Like if you had siblings, like you would have to have like consoling conversations before a parent came home. It's like, listen, I know you're not going to make it to tomorrow, but I just want to let you know I'm going to take your action figures.
Yes.
Have you ever had like a conversation with a sibling where you start like writing out a will? And it's like, all right, when dad gets home, he's going to fuck me up.
Yes. Great. Oh yeah, because like you said, it's 6 of us, but there's a huge gap. So my oldest sister is 16 years older than I am. So they were like almost out of the house. But the 3 of us, it's just what you said. The sister that's 3 years older than me, Monica, bro, she ran away to go on the school trip to Disney World. When she sees that she's gonna die in the 6th grade. And she left a note. So we get up for Saturday morning cartoons, and this is a 2-bedroom duplex where it's like you can't hide. It's nowhere. It's like, where is she? I'm in the 1st grade, and bro, and I'm reading this note. I'm like, oh, or 2nd grade, and I'm like, she's saying that she knows she's gonna get a beating when she gets home, but it was important for her to go to Disney World with her friends anyway. And I'm like, I'm just there watching what was that, Smurfs or whatever during that time. Like, this is late mid to late 80s, and I was like, well, Reese, don't have to share a room with her anymore because I was like, she dies tonight.
You were upstairs like doing floor planning and shit like that, man. You were like,
yes, exactly. I was like, yeah,
I've got an extra 6 square feet over right here, and fuck your dresser, fuck your clothes. We're throwing that word out.
Right. I was like, I get a wardrobe storage thing in there, front. I'm like, yeah, this isn't gonna be all bad. What I didn't know, I was like the young hustler, Greg. So I had I was doing the whole thing about selling candy at school to your little drugged up friends that need, that need their candy fix in the 1st grade. I had only raised the $2, Greg. My dad got up finally and read that she had left. Mind you, the trip, now this will date us. The trip cost $49. She got a money order for 49 cents and forged it and got on. Yeah, exactly. In the 6th grade, got on the trip. And my dad is like, where did she even come up with the money from? I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So now he senses that he's losing control of the Cubs. And so, you know what? What is this little thing this candy store you're doing? I was like, I'm raising money to buy more action figures. He was like, give me that money. The whole $2 he took from. He's like, for all I know, you're saving money to run away too.
Yeah. No, I'm so glad you brought that. I'm so glad you brought that up. Like, the dating us aspect. By the way, man, your camera came out of focus. You look like an apparition. You look like a ghost right now. You look like Bigfoot footage.
Oh yeah, I see that. Hold on, okay. I had to fix that.
Like Bigfoot spotted footage right there.
Yes. Oh, let me come back in here. I see that. Here we go. Oh, give me a minute. There we go.
Yeah, you were looking like there you are back at the JFK.
Yeah, went out of. I'm like, I thought I had it in auto. There we go. It's still. Wait a minute. Let me check something, bro. Make sure this is in auto here.
By the way, I'm totally going to keep a portion of this.
Oh, I'm sure you are. Yeah, I'm sure you are.
Oh man, but what was it? No, I was glad that you brought up that old school pricing of Disney, because I remember my dad throwing a fit because my mom wanted us to go to Disney, and I think this was like back in 1991, and Disney World tickets, I think at the time, like if you wanted to get a ticket, Johnny on the spot, I think it was like $35, 35 bucks, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And hearing my folks like, complain about that. But also at the time, you got to keep in mind, minimum wage was like
right, was a different ball game too. Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, I looked at Disney World tickets nowadays, and I'm like, dude, I'm not fucking going to Disney World anytime soon. Well, like I don't know. I've done like the last time I went to a theme park, it was in my early 20s, and I went to Six Flags over in Texas. I think it was like in Arlington, Texas.
Okay.
Shit.
I haven't been there. I've been to Six Flags over Georgia.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it. Being in my early 20s, I enjoyed it. It was cool. It was fine. But the allure of theme parks, it kind of wears off after a little while. Like I think when you have children, it's the allure reignites because you want the kids to experience that. But as an adult, like you get older, it's like you realize like, oh fuck, I'm gonna be walking around and walking around. And the rides are fun, but then like when you get on the ride, you get banged to shit and you come off with a headache. You go on a roller coaster as you get older. Because we have a local
you don't recover the same. You don't recover the same.
Yeah, well, we have a local fair where I live, and like the fair is like relatively cheap where I live in Sierra Vista area, and so like I screwed around over the fair a couple years back over here, and I think it was collectively like $20 out of pocket for me to screw around on some rides and like Gravitron and this little orbiter thing. It just banged the shit.
I remember Gravitron.
Yeah, like I came out with like this rocking headache. And I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like it one bit. Fuck these rides. Fuck these kids. Fuck your fair.
Now, wait, do you have kids, Greg?
No, I don't.
Yeah, see, so we're in the same boat. And so I'm like you where my wife loves Disney World. We went, I believe, for her birthday probably 6 years ago. And she wanted to do all the rides, like It's a Small World and everything. And bro, there are kids losing it. And I'm sure that was always the case, but it didn't bother me when I was 12. At 38, bro, like, I was just like you. I'm like, why would you bring them here? Bro, I'm like getting in arguments with people's parents. Like, I need to go back to the resort. This is not my speed anymore. And then I get on, and she can't do medically the roller coasters. Now that's what I'm the thrill junkie, right? And so I get on, what is the one, Animal Kingdom Yeti? And I'm dizzy and I'm staggering. Mind you, I'm 6'3", 240. So no one's coming to save you. They're just like, is he going to be okay? Trying to get you off the platform while they get the ride going again. It's like someone get their grown kid. So yeah, we have way too many similar experiences. And because you're 6'3", 240, like you said, you get thrown around on that like crazy. Yeah, it's not the same experience for everybody.
We did meet over at Turning Point USA this past December. As you know, I'm not 6'3", 240. I'm 5'8". Maybe if we're being generous, 5'9" if I'm wearing my moon shoes. And I'm not 240. I'm like 220. Maybe it's because I'm chubby. I don't know, man. But we just bumped into each other. And it was like an instant rapport. But I have been following you on Twitter, my man, and I've noticed that you really go out of your way, like based upon like the photo ops and shit you did over in Turning Point. You go out of your way to just inject yourself into the conversation with some people. I saw you linked up with James O'Keefe. I saw you link up with a handful of people.
Correct.
And I thought that was cool as all get out. I thought that was awesome. I don't know if you followed any of my shit on Twitter or maybe my former employer, no longer my current one, my former employer, Red Voice Media.
Which I was hoping you would catch me up on that because I was totally shocked when you said it, because when I shot you the email, not knowing why you didn't get it, but I was explaining everything that happened family wise in January because we were supposed to connect last month, and I go on and I start watching different shows you had done for the former employer, and then started going on other people's channels, just checking out everything Red Voice to get a better understanding. You know, you had explained it to me while we were there, but it's different when you're sitting at home, you know, and you're on your computer and you can go on and grasp, you know, everything that's going on. And then this, I believe this, I guess Twitter started the, what is that platform they're doing with the group?
Oh, Spaces?
Spaces, yes.
Twitter Spaces,
yes.
Yeah.
Right. So within the last month, and I had listened in on the one a little bit over a week ago with the controversy around that you've been covering a lot. How does she pronounce her first name?
Eliza.
Eliza Bleu.
Eliza Bleu. And you want to know something? This segues into what I perceive to be the circumstances of my termination. I was informed on January 30th, and that was 2 days after I started co-hosting Spaces about the controversy regarding that woman.
Yes.
2 days after the fact, I had co-hosted another space during the afternoon of the 30th. 5 minutes after I get off that space, I get a call saying, hey, we got to let you go because we don't have the money to support you. Now, can I prove without a shadow of a doubt
that was accurate?
That, you know, that I was dismissed over me digging into the Eliza stuff, because I didn't bring that to my employer. I didn't say, I want to cover this on Red Voice Media. I was just helping fellow journalists out get the information that I was able to uncover. But like I said, you know, 5 minutes after that space, I get shit canned. So I was kind of asked out, but, you know, thankfully, fellow journalists that are in the indie scene, they could read between the lines and, like, you want to know something, we're going to help you out. So I got to give a huge shout out
to awesome.
Like Fair and Bounced and Lift the Veil and Grifty and that Star Wars girl. Just amazing people that have been helping me out navigate this. Help me with understanding YouTube, which is cool. I just started a channel on that. And for something so short-lived, like it's a week-old YouTube channel, like last I checked, I got 160 subs. And while
I'm not surprised, because I'm not surprised at that, Greg, with watching what you were doing for them. Now, again, they were your employer, but you were producing your own content, which is what draws people in. You know, I didn't go there to check. I you know, went there looking for you. And while I was there, I was like, okay, well, let me check this out. Well, you know, what is this show? You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. And I'm extremely humbled and flattered, like, for a channel that's like a week old, 150 some odd people, they raise their hand, because they're all ostensible strangers. They raised their hand. They said, I want to check this out. Because you know how some people, they reach out to their family and stuff like that and be like, hey, so they go on their Facebooks and all that stuff. I didn't do that. I didn't even tell folks, like my immediate friends, that I was shit canned until like a week after it happened. You know, like
were you already processing the next move, or?
Yeah. The thing that I wanted to see, I wanted to perform like a litmus test to see whether I could get ostensible strangers to express interest in something that had absolutely zero following whatsoever. Like, it started with zero, and then people started coming. And I find that to be a great jumpstart for a first week. So I was talking to my dad, and he thinks I'm insane. Well, like, he's old, and he's like, so
that didn't just start.
He's like, what's the job front looking like? I'm like, Dad, I'm taking like a month or two off. And he's like, what? You have to contribute to my Social Security. And I'm like, fuck you, Dad. Fuck you and your Social Security, because I won't get it.
You're right on that one, bro. You're right. You're right on that one. But go back to this first week, because I saw, you know, and you created. Did you create a Rumble page as well?
No. Okay, there was a Rumble page created by Red Voice Media.
Gotcha.
Yeah, okay. So that's their Rumble page. and
Yes.
it will
So
never
all
be
of your
updated.
content stays there.
Yep. So it'll never be updated beyond that.
Okay, gotcha.
But my YouTube channel, The Breakdown with Greg Hoyt, that is 100% me, and I get to cover whatever the hell I want. So I was like, you want to know something? I believe I lost shit for covering this Eliza stuff. So guess what my shit's gonna be about for the onset right now?
Covering a lot, because I'm of course following you, and I saw you're dropping receipts like earlier today.
Like, and I don't have a huge Twitter following. I don't have a huge Twitter following by any stretch of the imagination. But those receipts that I'm dropping are fucking popping off.
Exactly.
Because I know what I'm doing. And you know, like when I showed the Annie Donowald crap, like, you know, how Shane Cashman quoted that lady for the article, and it's like, and he completely omitted the fact that Annie Donowald got sued by her parents for making up sex abuse allegations. And I'm like, this is the woman you're allowing to give credence to Eliza Blue's trafficking story? Like, give me a break.
Right. And it tied, go back to something, Greg, because I'll tie it back into what impressed me just meeting you, you know, when we met at America Fest, was I shared the story, you know, with my family and my wife, that when you came up, I was having a lost moment. You came to check on me because I had never, you know, I told you the story. I hadn't planned on being there. This was a surprise birthday gift from her. And it kind of ties into what we're saying, like what I'm seeing play out, what's happened to you and others in the past couple of weeks is, you know, there are certain people with power, and whether it's in person or on social media, bro, they wield that power. They don't give a damn who gets hurt. It's you don't challenge them. And so, like I said, what stood out about you, of course, you've got, you know, hundreds of media reps there, you know, various productions, stations, channels. And you were like, let me come over and check on you, because I'll never forget, you were like, are you all right, bro? And I was like, I was having like information overload because, you know, Candace had just spoke. She's in VIP, I'm guessing. And like you said, once I knew that I was going, our start of just what you're doing now, with going solo, was what I had already, you know, have been doing. And like you said, if you're not coming from a place with a big platform, then how do you're building it literally from the ground up. It's like you and I don't have this big seed grant fund, you know, to pay influencers.
Like, you know, I mean, I've been a writer for years.
Yes.
But the fact of the matter is, unless you are not the news, like, you know, like there are some journalists that get big followings. Like you look at Andy No. But the reason why he has a big following is because in 2019, he was the news after his previous assault. So more often than not, journalists don't get followed. So even though I wrote news articles for years and even had some videos that were produced for Red Voice Media, I didn't get a big following. And I was never allowed to really foment a YouTube channel to run side by side. And it's something I always wanted to do, but like, you know, I was kind of contractually tied. It's like, you're going to produce this content, it goes here, it goes there. And that's fine. It's whatever. I mean, at least the benefit to it is, with me transitioning into going solo, I have that, you know, that walking knowledge. What I did elsewhere, it's like, okay, I know that I need to make a thumbnail that looks like this. This kind of helps. Or I know how to edit this. And the editing is like the biggest thing. That's one of the biggest learning curves that I think content creators deal with. And I've seen your content. What is it? You give the mic drop awards. And I think that's cool as all get out. And I've seen your shit where you do like the green screen and all that. You make it look like you're about to present like an ESPN hot clip or something.
I'll give you. You want the background behind that, Greg? Yeah, that is so like you said, it was so back to Tiny when we met that day, and so I keep telling everybody, I was like, Greg probably bailed me out from literally just throwing a tripod like a javelin from just kind of being overwhelmed at the moment. And it was like Lord Center, you walked over because, bro, I was trying to figure out, I'm like, okay, are you here on a journalist side, production side? Are you just here as a conservative in like the event? Because remember, I wasn't playing. So when I've covered events for the National Baptist or the Ohio Baptist, which was a former client, I know what I'm there for. Like you said, I'm there to cover these particular churches, these particular workshops, you know. And so when you walked over, I was like, it seemed like when you're watching one of those movies, what is it? Vegas, The Hangover. And remember, they always get to a scene where Alan is tripping and everything is kind of spinning. That's what it felt like until you walked over. Because Carrie Lake is on one side, and I'm like, okay, are you trying to catch that? But you'll miss what you're trying to get here. So all of that was going on in real time because my background was from the editing side. So like we were sharing that day, you know, I've spent almost the last 20 years almost exclusively either working with churches or political campaigns, usually for the local or county or state level, some judicial stuff in there. So when I branch, and that's what my tie-in, can you hear me? I'm good.
Yeah, no. I've just got some goofy shaped ears, so I had to reposition my headphones, man. Come on, bro.
Gotcha. But that's what my background was producing. A lot of times a church or a nonprofit would come to me, Greg, and they would be like, take this event. We have this event for first-time home buyers. We have this conference, but we want to make it, we want a trailer that's entertaining to get the community out to something, a church health fair. I'm not going to pull in a lot of people for that. So they bring me in to bring in the green screen and do those type of things, to make it not so you don't have something that looks like Ricky Smiley's Sunday morning church with Mother Bernice. That's what they didn't want. So
yeah, no, like what was it? I recently got myself a green screen, and I'm working on a separate video for footage I captured like a number of weeks ago. And I wanted to try the green screen to do like a green screen intro. And I did the green screen. I put myself in front of the green screen and did a background. And I was looking at the footage and I'm like, dude, I look fucking retarded. And I deleted it. I can't help it, man. I look at that. I generally think I look retarded anyway. Like I look at footage when I'm editing my videos, I look at myself, I'm like, look at that fucking idiot. As I'm editing stuff, I'm like, that guy.
Bro, you threw me a curveball. You threw me because you just admitted something. So is that something that we all go through because we're editing ourselves? Because for years, like I said, I edited other people. And you would have this, I would kind of have the same comment sometimes, like, Greg, I can't.
Yeah, no, I look at myself like I blink too much. Like,
yes. But you can't coach yourself in real time. So because when you're doing so like a lot of your segments, you'll go in and you'll have the article up. You'll pull that up on the screen behind you and you'll reference what is going on, like, Ground Zero Real News. So that's what pulled me in. But I know that is very different from you having the script, like with the green screen.
Yeah. Like, not even that. Like all my videos, I have zero script. So I'm just running off the top. Yes. And what I do is I ramble in front of a camera and then I take that footage and I look at it. And there's a lot of shit that I cut out for a lot of reasons, especially now doing stuff on YouTube. Yes. There are certain words I have to bleep out. And obviously I'm going to bleep out stuff for this to make it YouTube friendly. And that's fine, man. That's cool as all get out. But yeah, I'll go on these weird tangents, and somehow, I'll be talking about, I don't know, X, Y, and Z. I'll be talking about, Biden's latest comments at the State of the Union or some shit like that, as a form of example. And then I'll somehow segue into that. And it's like, and that's why the trannies are destroying the country, So that's why I really got to edit my stuff, because I go on these autistic tangents.
But it makes for great content.
It makes for great content that nobody will see. Like, I mean, I guess maybe I could if I put outtakes, I guess, on Twitter, either I would get canceled or I would go viral. It's going to go one of two ways. Well, I guess it would kind of serve both purposes, because like if I did like one of my tranny rants or something like that, I'm sure, like, the LGBT alphabet soup community would go after me, and like, we need to get this guy, Now,
I got a question on that, Greg. I got a question on that real quick. Have you had, because before Red Voice, you did the magazine
Law Enforcement Today.
Law Enforcement. Had you had a situation where a group targeted you at any of the last two stops?
I mean, like, I would get the occasional like hate comment, like, there was this one fucking dingleberry that was like, I'm gonna dox you. It's like, dude, I already put my information on Front Street, and he's like, I'd like to curb stomp you, and I'd be like, I asked him, like, do you want my address? Because I've been waiting. Like, I got out of prison in January 2014, and I have not been in a physical fight since then. I've been waiting on a motherfucker. I've been waiting for somebody to do it. Like, yes, come here, start an altercation. I've been waiting for the opportunity. I have this pent up stuff, because you tell people, like, when you actually give them your address and be like, yes, please come fight me, you realize they wouldn't bust a fucking grape if their name was Welch's.
He's killing me. I'm going to bring the other fan over, Greg, because you're going to have me.
I mean, that's the truth of the matter. My brother in Christ, listen, I got to wrap it up. We got like, minute, 2 minutes left, before I got to handle some obligations. So why don't you tell the people, because I'm going to put this on my channel. I'm going to put it on Twitter. I want to boost your profile. Help people who help you. All right. Where can people find Hollywood Morris?
Excellent. Thank you so much, bro. So my website, hollywoodmorris.com, hashtag, the tagline is, they call me Hollywood. Morris Henry at Twitter, and Add a Critical Perspective on YouTube and on Rumble. And so, like you said, and also supportourshields.com, Greg, is what I'm doing still with law enforcement. I've been doing more of the mic drops this year, because like you and I talked about at Turning Point USA, I started this to speak out from behind the scenes. I started doing it for defending law enforcement with all the planned attacks in 2020, right? As you get deeper into it, you realize that law enforcement is only one aspect. These clowns want to completely dismantle. That's their mantra. That whole social Marxism, cultural Marxism, their whole thing is in order to get utopia, they have to destroy what we already have. Yes, but thank you so much, Greg, for having me on. I'm excited about your venture going forward. So you know that I'm going to support you. Like I said, I owe you because you bailed me out. I always tell everybody that day, from having a complete meltdown and getting dragged out by security in Phoenix, Arizona.
All right, brother, man. You take care. Thank you for coming on, Hollywood.
All right. Thank you so much.